So where do you see you in 2030? Is this going to be another, because it starts in 2029, 2028? Are you ready to, and it's got to be all that energy and now you're just crashed, right?
Yeah,
You're like, ugh, do I want to go
yeah,
through this misery?
yeah. I think it's it's more of a, I think at this, like, coming after the games, everyone from a physical and is kind of burnt and fried at both ends of the candle, almost, where it's like this is going to be a nice time for people to not only recharge but just kind of reflect on the year. But when you think about 2030, a lot of the work for some folks may start as soon as the next season as well. And so it's going to be a year of rebuilding in terms of the program. But when I go back to mentioning things like the teams that have the most success and that I've started to learn to appreciate more in this sport are the teams that spend the most time together. And part of being in the most time is not just physically being together, but it's also the reps that you're able to get and the training that you're able to get into the off season. And so for us in our US program, we don't have and I think I like this at least a little bit better, I think, at the current moment of like, you don't have the pilots that select their teams and focus on just five guys throughout the year. We
Yeah.
go through our push championships in the fall. We pick, and through those push championships, pretty much form the top 12 or so athletes. And that's how the committee then looks at all that data and assesses who are the best folks to be on the World Cup tour this year versus some other nations may have, excuse me, a, a pool of five, six, seven athletes overall, and with those athletes, they're kind of mixing and mingling. So they're able to every single week, every single race, every single training session, get those reps with the same team. So when you get to the Olympics or get to some of these competitions, you've gotten to a point where they've almost perfected their craft. Versus where sometimes where we have so much talent in the U.S. that it comes a little bit of a downfall because there's so many pieces moving in,
Yeah.
moving out. Someone's taking a year off, another person's coming in. That person that took a year off wants their spot back, but there's the newer generation of talent, whatever it may be that goes into all these components. But so I think for me, it's going to be a decision coming around like, hey, what is it we want to do? As I think about my wife and us starting a family, where does that put us
Yeah.
in 2030? And is this something where I or we can kind of make the decision where we're on tour for again a number of months and away from home and what that may look like? But I have teammates that have done it. I have coaches that have done it and have shown that it's possible. And so I think it's just more of it's assessing and seeing where myself from a personal and as well as a professional and a working career standpoint are at the time to make that decision.